Merry Christmas, Eagle Heights Cathedral family. It's a pleasure to welcome you into our home this morning. As you can see, I have the First Lady here with me and her furry friend. I want to thank God for the privilege of serving as your pastor and your bishop. And just to take a few moments and share just a few words of encouragement with you this morning. The Bible says in Matthew 1:22 through 23, so all this was done that it might be fulfilled, which was spoken by the Lord through the prophet, saying, behold, the virgin shall be with child, and shall bear a son, and they shall call his name Emmanuel, which is translated, God with us. This morning, I want you to know that God really is with us. That is the whole thrust and the theme of the Christmas season. I was reading the other day a story about a little girl. She was watching her mother and their father as they were putting things together for Christmas. They were hanging the ornaments. They were doing all kinds of things. They were making bundles for Christmas. And it seemed that her mother and father were more concerned about doing the things for Christmas than they were about her. In fact, she made the statement that it seems that they were telling me, get out of the way and stay out of the way. So the story goes that she went upstairs to her bedroom that night and she knelt beside her bed and she prayed this prayer, our Father who art in heaven, please forgive us our Christmases as we forgive those who Christmas against us. What she was saying is that we need to keep our priorities right. And so I shared that with you to remind you that Christmas, first and foremost, is about the Christ child, about Jesus, about Emmanuel, God with us. But it's also about a specific time of sharing our love, unconditional love with the family. And I want to encourage you this Christmas to give one another undivided love and attention. And let me pick up on a few things that I said at the close of the sermon last Sunday. I want to encourage you that as Christians, that we would be followers of Christ who will be thoughtful. Today, be very thoughtful. As you sit down to your Christmas dinner, I encourage you to think of those that are less fortunate than you. I encourage you to pray for those who don't have a roof over their heads, who don't have food on their table, because I am convinced that most of us who are listening to this, we are more blessed than we deserve. Secondly, as followers of Christ, let us be faith-filled. I want to tell you that 2016 has been a really blessed year, but it has not been without its challenges. Many of us have gone through some very difficult and trying times. But I want you to know that the First Lady and I, that we are praying that Romans 8:28 would be your reality. That even everything that you've gone through, no matter how difficult it is, that God would work it for your good, even this day, tomorrow, and in the days to come. Then I had shared with you that as followers of Christ, let us be those people that are forgivers. You know, the Bible is really right when it says that, hey, love covers a multitude of faults. Let's forgive and let's go on. And lastly, as followers of Christ, may we be forever thankful. I encourage you today not to look at what you don't have, but to look at what you do have. It is true, a lot of our complaining comes from the reality that we just don't recognize that we truly are blessed. I close with this story. In December of 1903, after many, many attempts, the Wright brothers got their plane off the ground. They had flown 120 feet. They called their sister, Catherine, or they actually telegraphed her and said, we have flown 120 feet. We got our flying machine off the ground. We'll be home for Christmas. Catherine ran to the news station. She ran to the newspaper and she said, I want you to read this. The man who was in charge read the article and he said, oh, that's wonderful. They'll be home for Christmas. When I read that, I thought he missed the whole point. He missed one of the greatest feats and one of the great happenings in history. Some people are that way about Christmas. It is said that 97% of Christians, and even people that aren't Christians, 97% of Americans, they don't mind if you say Merry Christmas. But yet I still think that Christians and not Christians miss the point of Christmas. The point of Christmas is to remember the big happening. God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, and he shall be called Emmanuel, God with us. Know today that God is with you, Eagle Heights. God bless you and have a Merry, Merry Christmas.